May I request Dr. Deepak Kumar Sahu, Editor-in-Chief VARINDIA, to moderate the panel discussion session on key challenges and opportunities in digital transformation. Over to Dr. Sahu.
Let me introduce to our strong panel, Mr. Ranjan Chopra, the CEO, MD of Team Computers, Mr. Tarun Seth, Managing Director, Hitachi Systems Microclinic, Mr. Atul Gaur, Director, Savex Technologies Private Limited, Mr. Vishal, Bindra, CEO, ACPL Systems Private Limited, Mrs. Prarthana Gupta, CEO, Hitachi Technologies, Mr. Ashis Guha, COO, Raha Infotech. Let me introduce myself, Dr. Deepak Kumar Sahu, Publisher and Chief Editor, VARINDIA. So the topic for the today presentation is post-pandemic brings fast-track digital transformation. So let me introduce about the topic. The global business environment has witnessed massive changes at scale and speed at matches technological shifts. In the past few months, we have witnessed a rapid acceleration of three major forces, that is deglobalization, digitization, and corporate consolidation. With consumer habits shifting rapidly to online consumption, business have had to respond quickly with digital transformation plans in months instead of years. Digital transformation process is being viewed as a long-term investment, which is reflecting the commitment to enterprise-wide digital transformation. This urgent need is causing a fresh wave of challenges to overwhelm IT leaders. Business increasingly demand more agile hybrid IT services and agile networking capability. Getting the user experience right in a critical part of business transformation. The year 2020 also witnessed COVID-19 take over the real world as well as the cyber world, including COVID-related scams and ransomware. Now the cyber criminals began to promote mobile adware more heavily to younger audiences via popular social platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. On this backdrop, we would like to understand from the panelists on how digital transformation to be truly transformative. So how we'll do, like everyone can give the answer with 2 minutes so that we can complete the session. I request to start with Ashis. What is your view on that?
Sure, thanks. Basically, if you really look at the transformation that we are talking about, it's all object oriented. You need to have an objective for any transformation, and digital transformation obviously needs to have an object which we really want to go. And what is the process, and how do you really achieve that objective? This will help you with faster decision making, better information available to you. So technology will be a very, very important play in any transformation that you're really looking at. A truly transformative strategy that you really want to build should play a very important role, which should be ensuring that your customer experience is enhanced. You have a very good customer experience, you optimize your resources, your overall business processes are streamlined, and end of the day, obviously any organization is looking at revenue and bottom lines that need to really increase. So to strengthen all that, it is important. Sorry, my camera is on.
Yeah, sorry. You can, camera thoda aapka chota sa dikh raha hai, so you can up. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for that.
Good.
Is it better now?
Yeah, better. Yeah, please.
All right, sure. So obviously, looking at all these aspects, technology plays a very, very critical and important role over here. And using technology to strengthen your business processes, to ensure customer experiences at the helm of your agenda or your engagements on the ground becomes very, very imperative. So that's what I would say, that use of technology to enhance your customer experience is where the true sense of digital transformation will come.
Okay, good. So can we take the input from Atul?
Thank you, Deepak, and thank you, Ashish. I would take from the cue what Ashish said. Digital transformation essentially should make life simpler, faster, efficient, and should give delight to customers or even employees. So, one has to look at from that angle first. And then one should look at what is good to have and what is essential. Because you have limited amount of funds and you want to make the most of it. So you have to decide which are the areas you really want to invest. look at the big process, look at depending on what your company is into. For example, companies into CRM, companies into security, companies into any other kind of RPA processes. You have to look at different tools which are available and then decide which processes you want to work upon. I mean, in this world today, with COVID coming in, things are becoming faster. People are wanting to invest more and more to be more reach out to their customers. I mean, we are using a video conferencing tool these days so effectively and reaching out to our customers. Every business transaction is happening through the VC route. Analytics is becoming very important. I mean, analytics at CEO level was always important, but analytics at the working level, operational level, live statistics being available to the sales guys as well to see how's that they're performing. Course correcting, rather than once in a while somebody coming and presenting you. It is also much essential. So I think all these needs are very critical and important for businesses to transform and look at. In fact, we at Savex, during COVID, we were doing a business continuity testing, and we had not thought of such a large scale kind of stuff. So we were pretty ready with our headquarters. But if you ask me, from all the 42 sales offices which we operate from, and to make sure that all the Citrix licenses, for example, for VDI, we wanted to be secure and to be connected, they were not in place. We had to buy some more pretty quickly, but we were quickly able to streamline because we had business continuity, at least in few large offices, which we could replicate to other offices as well. So one has to be ready, and as the business environment is constantly changing, I think this also needs, even if you do all the things, if your people mindset does not change and they are not amenable to adopt to that change, change management is very critical and essential, because people should not feel that their jobs are becoming redundant, machines are doing the job, or system is doing more analytics and somebody is looking at it constantly. I think it is very transformative from that point of view, and therefore change management becomes all the more critical when such transformations are to be looked at. So I would not take more than 2 minutes. I think that was the time, but essentially we can deep dwell into all of those aspects and look at for a better working environment for the organizations.
So Vishal, can you share your experience?
So, I mean, the experience is on both the sides. One is internally, what we did for, what we could, very loosely call a digital transformation. And then, we looked at what customers are doing. See, we went into what we were doing as a digital transformation was far earlier into the, life cycle that, we wanted to work from anywhere. We wanted to ensure that, all our branches are connected. We wanted to, I wanted to be at home and to be able to work. And, of course, now everybody was forced to sit at home and wanted to do that. We were pretty ready because, I think last time also I did discuss that, one of the things that, we over the period of time learned that, we could actually bring in a lot of second tier, third tier, city employees to really come on board and to be able to deliver everything, for them on demand was very necessary for us. So that was done. But, I will actually connect it to the customer side that, when we are not a digital transformation company. We actually are a layer, which is, once people have, looked at it, what are they going to really look at digital transformation, and then sit over it to ensure that we can look at secured experience. I think that is something that, we've really started doing that. But very interesting thing that came up is that when a lot of our customers, were really talking about to be able to work from home, to look at zero trust and other things, we were ready. We were ready. We could actually showcase all of that what we have already implemented in our offices to the customer, and saying that, okay, this is how we have integrated different technologies and this is what we are able to achieve. So I think, that was a very good starting point, for the customers to really come and look at it. And, because, when the COVID really started to happen, that all those journeys which were about 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, they were planning, they had to do everything, very early. So I think that is something that, we saw, very quickly. And as you rightly said, I think you used the term called, ransomware or, all other things which are happening. While everybody was talking about, what I call a digital transformation 1.0, they were still talking about to be able to, work from a secured environment. But, very few people had really thought of, that, accounts, finance, operations, core businesses will need to be run from a remote place or from homes and other things. At a lot of times we didn't even get time to really deliver the hardware to them. So how do you really make sure, all of those experiences which can be delivered both securely and, the experience of the user is enhanced rather than not reduced? So I think that is what, we have experienced in last few months, with us. And, when we could implement, we could showcase to our customers. And obviously, we did not really go end-to-end to implement to our customers because not our business side line of business. We ensure that we can help them on the layer with security.
Okay, good. Now we'll understand more from Mr. Ranjan Chopra.
So, I think all the points noted, jo Atul ne share kiya and Vishal shared, they're all valid. So, digital transformation, I feel, is a mindset. और हम लोगों का mindset बहुत साल पहले, in fact, 4 साल हो गए, we created a mobile app for attendance, work from anywhere, anytime. So my team was not ready. So I said, sir, इसकी क्या जरूरत है? लोग घर पे बैठ के काम थोड़ी ना करेंगे. I said, नहीं, there are a lot of women, sometimes they go on maternity leave. And they are good women, बच्चे को भी देखना है, काम भी कर सकते हैं, they will log in, log out. That attendance app is beautiful. 4 साल पहले हमने start किया था. Then we build command centers. How do we use analytics? कई बार लोग पूछते थे, who are you competing? Competitor कौन है? Competitor digital native companies हैं. Uber आ गया, Amazon आ गया, अब Walmart भी convert हो रहा है. Flipkart क्यों खरीदा है? इसीलिए खरीदा है. अगर Amazon मेरे बिजनेस में आ गया तो क्या होगा? So I was talking to a cement company CIO. तो मैंने उनको बोला, मैंने कहा बॉस, अगर Amazon ने सीमेंट का बिजनेस करना स्टार्ट कर दिया तो क्या होगा? बोला, अरे वो सब हमको उसका डर नहीं है. मैंने कहा चलो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, बाय. बट मेरे को बहुत डर है डिजिटल नेटिव कंपनीज में, बिकॉज द थिंकिंग विल बी वेरी वेरी डिफरेंट. ओके, सो हाउ डू वी so building command center for operational analytics, and of course having all numbers. And lot of my friends used to tell me, अरे ये म्यूजिक बजा रहा है, हॉस्पिटैलिटी कर रहा है, रेस्टोरेंट खोल रहा है, ये वो, इसको धंधे का पता नहीं. बॉस, I know every parameter of what is going on. Okay, because it's so easy. So consuming digital transformation, analytics, collaboration, ये सब buzzword नहीं है, ये हम लोग यूज कर रहे हैं रोज. एंड एक चीज और बताऊंगा मैं कि ऐप मॉडर्नाइजेशन, पुराने एप्लीकेशन चल रहे हैं, वो आगे आने वाले टाइम पे नहीं चलेंगे. सो नॉट ओनली हैव वी modernized all our apps, we are also in the business of doing that for our customers. So and lastly, automation, automating whatever can be automated. And I think Atul talked about mindset कि डर लग रहा है लोगों को, automate कर देंगे, नौकरी जाएगी, ये होगा वो, तो बात ये है कि जब लोग खाली होंगे ना from routine tasks, they can apply their brains to strategy, to business transformation, to round the corner कि फ्यूचर में क्या होने वाला है, कैसे करेंगे हम लोग. अगर सारा दिन हम वो रूटीन टास्क करते रहेंगे, अभी सेवेक्स के बिल एंटर करने में सारा टाइम 10 आदमी लगा के रख दूंगा मैं, उससे क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. So we need to automate whatever can be automated, and I am at it at a war footing. बहुत बड़ी टीम लगाई हुई है इसमें. एक लास्ट पॉइंट मैं जो शेयर करूंगा कि बहुत सारे लोग मेरे ऐसे ही लोग हैं जो इस सेमिनार को देखेंगे. तो हम लोग घर बनाने में लोग अपना घर बना लेते हैं, फिर अपनी गाड़ी भी ले लेंगे, फैंसी गाड़ी भी ले लेंगे हम लोग, ठीक है. दुकान में जो सॉफ्टवेयर की जरूरत है उसमें बहुत हमारी जान निकलती है. मैंने देखा है जनरली इंडियंस में स्मॉलर बिजनेसमैन, स्मॉल मिड साइज बिजनेसमैन, सॉफ्टवेयर लगाने में अरे 25 लाख रुपए लगेगा, 50 लाख रुपए, 1 करोड़, 2 करोड़, हाँ लगेगा. बट आज अगर आप 2 करोड़ रुपए लगाओगे एक ERP में या एनालिटिक्स में, ये आपके 10 साल चलेगा. ये लोग समझने के लिए मकान में लगा देंगे, दुकान में नहीं लगाएंगे, दुकान में सॉफ्टवेयर में नहीं लगाएंगे। ये बहुत जरूरी है। डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन अपने आप नहीं हो जाएगा बिना इन्वेस्ट किए हुए, वो करना पड़ेगा हर चीज में।
ये ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया सर, बहुत बढ़िया। Now we'll understand more from experienced person, Tarun Seth. तो आपका वो रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं हो पा रहा है।
तरुण आप म्यूट पे हो।
Tarun, हाँ.
I said Ranjan is my senior pro in IT business. So I give him all regard for that because I follow him in a lot of other things.
But you are older by a few months.
Yes. No, don't rub it in.
No, he's saying I'm younger.
Okay.
So see, digital transformation, everything. If you see our Prime Minister was more forthcoming in saying "Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas." I think digital transformation is going to do that, right? That you can help people from anywhere and everywhere, and people can get what they want. As Ranjan also said, that people are scared today that their jobs will go by automation, which is not true. Okay, it is true if they're doing a redundant job. As he said, कि रोज अगर मैं bill type करूँगा और entry करूँगा, obviously we also tell these people your life in IT or the life of your job is going to get lesser and lesser. See, any job which is like programmed, right? Which in the morning 9:30 you come and 5:30 you have to do A, B, C, D, E, F. I keep telling everybody that if you're doing a job which is programmed, you will not be required in the system. The system will do it on its own. So system needs people who can think differently, who can act differently, and who can do things, who can do multiple things. Because today's salesman should not think I'm only a sales guy. He should also think that how can I work around my competition? How can I see that my cycle on payment gets improved? Because today CRM is there and he has knowledge of all his orders. He also knows what he's spending. It's all transparent. Meaning he can't say you are hiding the GP and you're not telling me the right GP. Because with ERP and CRM integrated, you can see at what cost you're buying and at what cost you're selling. And you can also see what are the other expenses. So I think digital transformation was also always there, and we thought it will take 3-4 years to get mature. But COVID accelerated it, and what we thought will happen in 24 happened in 2020. And it is there to stay. So I was in a shoe shop yesterday, and the guy was saying, e-commerce wale hamari dukaan band kar denge. So I was telling him, e-commerce nahi band kar raha because you are not creative, right? And you have not thought of it. That's why you're still struggling. Right? My son runs Apple stores and he's very happy that COVID time, his online sale has gone from 2% to 17% of his total sale. And he says it's customer experience you can also give on e-com, other than giving it on a retail store. So you have to be innovative, and that is what digital transformation is all about. It's all about innovation.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now we have, this time we have a lady in the panel. Okay. Welcome. Can we know your experience, Prarthana, into the subject of digital transformation to be truly transformative?
My definition of digital transformation or digital era would be how fast the information can reach to you, how fast delivery can happen, how fast you can give the service to the customer. You can save the time to do something more than what you are doing. I have been busy for more than 1 year on the project of digital transformation. You can say that we are working on, I think Ranjan and Tarun knows, and Vishal also knows that we are working on a project of Nirbhaya Safe City, where the entire project is on digital transformation, how we can save the women through analytics, through AI, ML, and we are doing a great job there, and we are actually designing the entire thing, how fast the information can reach to the police officer, and how quickly they can take the action, and how we can reduce the crime of Delhi. And this is what the project we are doing in Delhi. And actually I'm telling you whatever Ranjan was telling, that control and command center banana, and analytics, how can we use analytics, how can we use facial recognition system to catch the criminals and all. We are actually doing all these things nowadays, And trust me, in this 1 year, I have learned a lot on this digital transformation thing.
So everyone talks about there is a positive growth of the technology where the things are getting implemented, transformation is happening. So everybody is geared towards the next level of opportunity into technology. So going to the second question. So we're going to 2021. How are you planning for the digital offerings to customers? I will start with Mr. Ranjan Chopra.
You know, अगर मैं अपने आप को देखूं तो वी आर लाइक अ सॉफ्टवेयर, हार्डवेयर एंड सर्विसेज कंपनी. हार्डवेयर इज मोर ऑफ फुलफिलमेंट. तो यू नो कस्टमर को कोई एक्सपेंशन करना है, नए लोग आ गए, कोई ब्रांच ऑफिस खोलना है, कोई नया एप्लीकेशन के लिए सर्वर चाहिए, स्टोरेज चाहिए, सिक्योरिटी तो लाइक विशाल सेड सबको चाहिए ही चाहिए. तो ये सब काम तो हम कर ही रहे हैं. Services में we are doing something very interesting. Next year we are rolling out an Uber kind of app. Now that app, you know, imagine करो कि आपको कहीं टैक्सी चाहिए, आपने Uber का वो खोला, बुलाया, टैक्सी आ गई. System is driving everything. वो टैक्सी वाले को भेज रहा है, वही इंजीनियर वो ड्राइव, you know, customers and टैक्सी ड्राइवर्स को कनेक्ट कर रहा है, बीच में से अपना टोल का थोड़ा पैसा ले रहा है. सो वी आर ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड समथिंग लाइक दैट ऑन द सर्विसेज फ्रंट. ऑन द सॉफ्टवेयर फ्रंट, ऐप मॉडर्नाइजेशन इज वेरी बिग ऑन आवर एजेंडा. हाउ डू वी गो फ्रॉम जीरो कोड, नो कोड? यू नो, पहले जमाना था जब बहुत सारा कोडिंग करना था, डेवलपर चाहिए. अभी जीरो कोड और नो कोड का जमाना है. सो हाउ डू क्लाउड में देयर इज सम फैंटास्टिक स्टफ. You know, Google का Anthos है. So how do we take all that and master it and offer it to our customers? So automation वाला जर्नी में it's not easy. 3-4 महीने लग जाते हैं एक सिंपल सा प्रोसेस को ऑटोमेट करने में. So कस्टमर का फेथ भी रखना है वहां पर. And so we have decided to go vertical wise. You know, so insurance के processes हैं, banking processes हैं, manufacturing, supply chain processes हैं. How do we automate those processes? अभी भी जो स्केल है ना, वो भी मैंने देखा है हार्डवेयर में है, अच्छा स्केल है, सर्विसेज में भी स्केल है. वी आर ग्रोइंग रैपिडली फ्रॉम roughly about 1500 crore company. Well, aim is to go toward 5000 crore. But सॉफ्टवेयर वाला जो ग्रोथ है ना, इतना फास्ट नहीं हो रहा है. इतना पूरा मेहनत करने के बाद, डिजिटल बोलने के बाद भी जो ऑर्डर साइजेस हैं, PSU गवर्नमेंट में तो बड़े साइज आ रहे हैं ऑर्डर्स, बट जो बाकी जगह वो लोग कहते हैं ना छोटे छोटे प्रोजेक्ट्स में बाइट साइज. डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन इज अ बिग एलिफेंट एंड कस्टमर्स वो कहते हैं ना, मैं तो वेजिटेरियन हूँ, बट इतने बड़े हाथी को कोई निगलेगा कैसे, खाएगा कैसे? एक चम्मच एट अ टाइम, 1 spoon एट अ टाइम. यू नो, आई एम अ वेजिटेरियन, सो आई डोंट लाइक द आइडिया ऑफ ईटिंग एलिफेंट्स, बट द पॉइंट इज कि इट्स अ बिग प्रोजेक्ट. बिग प्रोजेक्ट को करने के लिए हर एक कस्टमर को छोटे 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 बाइट साइज प्रोजेक्ट्स बहुत सारे करने हैं. तो मैं टर्नओवर तो बहुत ज्यादा सॉफ्टवेयर में अनफॉर्चुनेटली ग्रो नहीं हो रहा है जिस रेट से मैं चाहता हूँ. बट या द जॉब इज ऑन एंड आज से 3-4 साल लगेंगे. 3-4 साल बाद ये साइज मेरे को लगता है प्रोजेक्ट्स के बढ़ेंगे. तो 5000 करोड़ में आई फील 1000 करोड़ तो सॉफ्टवेयर का होना चाहिए, बट कब पहुंचेगा 1000 करोड़ ये पता नहीं है. बट या इट्स वेरी एक्साइटिंग. बिना डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के कोई इंडस्ट्री सर्वाइव नहीं करेगी. तो हम लोग जितने लोग हैं पैनल में, हम सबके लिए मार्केट तो बहुत है. ये है कि हम कौन से मार्केट को सिलेक्ट करें और उसको जल्दी से कवर करें. अपने आप को चेंज करना. यू नो, अगर मैं सोच रहा हूँ मैं हार्डवेयर कंपनी हूँ, मैं सर्विसेज कंपनी हूँ, तो सॉफ्टवेयर कर ही नहीं पाऊंगा. वो माइंडसेट बदलना बहुत जरूरी है.
True, you are true. And you told very rightly that zero coding, which is said to be a very robust thing and which is the need of the hour, so that we can improvise so many things. We'll understand
तो
later.
दीपक, एक चीज, जैसे हम लोग, यू नो, वी आर अ जनरल पर्पस कॉन्ट्रैक्टर. यू नो, मतलब सिस्टम इंटीग्रेटर बोलो या जनरल पर्पस बोलो, तो वी हैव अ वाइड रेंज. विशाल का अप्रोच भी बहुत अच्छा है, वेरी फाइन, लेजर लाइक। वो कहता है भैया बाकी चीजों को छोड़ो, मैं सिक्योरिटी का किंग हूँ, मेरे को सिक्योरिटी। सो दैट इज ऑल्सो अ फैंटास्टिक वे। अगर हम लोग ये नहीं होते जो अपना नेचर है, आई वुड हैव बीन लाइक विशाल, टेकन वन एरिया एंड गॉन डीप इनटू इट। ये तो हम घुस गए हैं, अब जो पकड़ लिया लाइन तो पकड़ लिया, जनरल है तो अब जनरल करना ही है।
नो, आप सही बोल रहे हैं। विशाल
और वो
is
किंग
doing
है
a
इंडिया का।
wonderful job.
Yes,
So let's understand
yes.
from Vishal.
Okay, so I was smart. When I entered into the industry, I met Tarun, I think 91, 92. I met Ranjan at the address that you said, and I figured out that I'll never be able to scale up the way these people do. So I decided to ensure that I keep out of their way. So that so it was a thoughtful process. Uh, yes, I think it is. I think first of all, I think coming from Ranjan, I think it's a huge compliment. I think my day is made. I would now use this recording to tell it to my wife and mother कि ठीक है कुछ कर लिया जिंदगी में, ठीक है तो वो चीज important है. We understand that what is our strength. There is a strength that for example, I remember we work with IBM very closely. And I went to this was the first visit to one of the large. I think it was Daksh at that time when I'm talking about this. I entered and there were floors after floors and there were people, and I was so uncomfortable. I said, how do you manage so many people? For me, the people relationship was that I could go to any person in my company and I would know his what is his name, उसका बच्चा कौन सी क्लास में पढ़ता है, वो उसके घर में कितने लोग हैं, everything, and that was the first fear psychosis. And I was very clear right from day one that we're going to create something, which will continue to focus. So this year, 2021, our fundamental is very clear. We've spent last 5 years developing technologies, our own IP. One is on RegTech, which is on data discovery, classification, and regulation. So, I mean, today regulation is going to, and especially with this data protection law, which is getting launched in India with, PCI compliance with HIPAA and GDPR, etc. The need of this particular, technology is, definitely on the rise. On the other side, we understood that, when we talk about digital transformation, when we talk about, I think Ranjan did spend a lot of time trying to look at RPAs, look at how can we automate everything in a process. We looked at everything on security that, the alert comes right at the first time that there is something happening in your organization. Somebody needs to investigate. Once somebody has investigated, it starts to look at that, okay, how do we really mitigate? And then, take a mitigation stuff. So we have built an, complete technology where, we'll be able to do everything right from, identification, then, doing the mitigation and everything, investigation, mitigation, everything is something that we have built, in an automated format. Now, there are two rights that what we're going to take. One are these two independent companies which will work more as a product companies. That means it will work. We've partnered with RH for Classify to really take that to the market. On the other side, we are going to consume this as a service in ACPL so that we can give this as a service to our customers and provide end-to-end solutions. So our idea is to really even go further down and saying, Ranjan said that, what if Amazon comes into our business? Amazon is already in my business. Anybody who buys it on the cloud, can buy security on the cloud without this. So, I mean, I need to be having a control over something that, I'm selling to the customer, and I need to be better than what they are already doing. So I think, for us, the only survival thing is that the more focused we are and more better we are. That is something that our approach is going to be.
So as you have referred to RH, so let's understand more from Ashis.
Sure, thanks. I think there were very interesting points made by Ranjan sir and Vishal. And we are the ones who are really sitting between the OEM and the partner or the customer. And it makes our job even more difficult because we are just not catering to one person, but we are catering to multiple people in the market today. So, and as most of you would know, that our focus and value is all around data management and security. And that's what we do. That's what our bread and butter is. All our revenues are around that space. we keep on looking at technologies, we keep on looking at solutions that are required by our partners. So we become the ears and eyes of our OEM when we are engaging with partners and customers on ground, giving them feedback, giving them inputs that this is what is happening in the market. This is the transformation required by a customer. These are kind of solutions required by a partner, when he's envisaging or he's putting a solution together. At the same time, we are also the voice of our OEMs, which is going to the partners and the customers and talking to them about what solutions are there, what challenges are being faced by a lot of people around the globe, and how that can help, or the use cases or challenges that others have sorted out with using these solutions can be utilized when we are proposing to any of the clients. So our role is very interesting, not only in that aspect of providing products and software or solutions around it, as Ranjan sir said, that you have multiple small requirements. So obviously market is huge. We are focusing only on the data management and the security space. We also offer another very interesting thing, and that's one of the things that I'm very proud of, is the technical team that I have. Our philosophy is just not provide a product to a person or to a partner or to a customer, but also provide solutions around, or the services around it, be it deployment services, be it managed services. So any kind of services that is required by any of the partners or the customers is what we are providing. So we are, and at the same time, we're very clear, we are not going to pick up any orders from any of the customers directly. So we are not eating into the lunch of any of our partners. So it's his business, is his requirement or his customer. We are just giving support to him in whichever way he fathoms our services are required. So that's a very, very critical aspect that we use. And that's where the trust is built amongst all the ecosystem players. And that's what really helps us to work very closely and expand to the market. I would also like to say here, where Vishal mentioned that very specifically around the classifier, these are some technologies which were not there a few years back. And once we started engaging with Vishal and his team and a lot of other players in different areas, I think the new working environment, the new normal, as people say or talk about, these are the solutions which are going to be very, very critical for people to put into their organizations. And it's great to hear, Vishal, that you're using it. Nothing better than eating the proof of the pudding is eating it. So I think you're doing a fantastic job. I think to show it to the world that it's just not, because a lot of places I've noticed, a lot of solutions that I've sold or talked about, sometimes you feel, why aren't the OEMs using the same technology in their environments? So this is a great way of showcasing what you're selling, is just not talking about it, but also the real use is there. So that's what it is, But end of the day, it's all about making sure whatever is the customer requirement, we are able to service that requirement of the customer through the products, solutions, and the services that we have. And that's what we bring on the table for any of our partners and customers.
Wonderful. But here, Atul, we'll let Gaur understand from Atul, because his response may be different. He's the distributor. And also they have recently bought one services company. So can you throw some light, Atul?
Yeah, sure, Deepak, and thank you. And wonderful comments from Ranjan, Vishal, and Ashis. I think some little broad spectrum, some very deep into, and I think this is very important for people to know where the sweet spot of their company is, and that is where they need to invest and really make it happen. I mean, every single big startup you see, you see Slack was bought for $28 billion last week by SFTC, Salesforce. And some people are already talking that email may get replaced in a few years from now, and everybody will do that. So brilliant collaboration tool. But I think that's where wherever you see a problem, I think that is the biggest opportunity. And that's how I see it, and moment you start analyzing it better, and it is if that problem solution is a mass use, I think there you are. So I look at, Savex being predominantly a distribution house and a bridge between the OEMs and our channel partners. Whatever we are transforming in terms of activities the company has been investing extensively into is to benefit the channel, effectively the end customers, but through the channel route. So one of the key areas where we are investing and building up is a very interesting cloud marketplace. Cloud marketplace is nothing but aggregation of a lot of SaaS vendors, software as a service vendors. And all that's a platform which would have seamless transactions. So customers, which means our partners, can actually place an order seamlessly, any software license order. It seamlessly gets placed on our OEM, and within 15 minutes to half an hour, the services are up and running at the end customer's place. So 24/7 operation, at any point of time you are there. You can actually use that platform for private labeling as well. You can add your managed service, as Ashis was talking or Vishal has been talking, in terms of whichever domain you have expertise in. So you can sell some of the standard services which come out of a bouquet. You can add your services and actually offer all those services to the customer. Not only that, actually, we have moved a step ahead in terms of complete payment management as well. So, whether end customers want to pay, they can directly pay through the escrow accounts. All the payments would come and it can be managed. Or the partners can use all kinds of, today a lot of fintech companies are there on the platform as well. And the standard payment options are there besides the non-standard ones as well. So we have actually, if you see, some of the tools which we have invested, whether it's a collaboration tool, whether it's an analytics tool, we have been talking a lot about analytics right now, whether it's to do with a CRM or an HRMS or just a lead management or backup on a security on the cloud, you want to manage that. All those things would be available in the standard. Some DevOps as well. I think some people are talking significant investments on that side as well. So standard tools. I mean, Toyota, I'm naming one of the clients, but they wanted to, roll out their cars, and with some automation on the software side, it would have taken almost 10 months for them to roll it out. With the use of the software tool, their go-to-market got reduced by 8 months. So, the DevOps tool helped them in, doing it faster. I mean, as Prarthana mentioned, how quicker, cheaper, faster you can go. And that's where the value is. And that's a live example I'm sharing, one of the companies. There are the very large companies in the process of implementing similar solution as well. So this is one area. The other area which we are seriously looking at is, and we all touched upon, which is hardware. Now, in the COVID times, customers moving from, a lot of customers talking from CapEx to OpEx kind of stuff, correct? I mean, they don't want to invest large amounts in servers, or HP has already been doing their business in Green Lake, where hardware goes as a service. These days, and I'm aware one of the largest OEMs in the world, which is a hardware business, and I'm not at liberty to name it, but they are in touch with one of the leading consulting companies in the world, which would probably completely transform. They see their business, which is 100% hardware right now. In 5 years' time, almost 70% of them will turn into service. So they are already in touch with them and analyzing as to how their global business will transform, and hardware essentially will become a service. A lot of vendors, in fact, we are in touch, are already looking at hardware and a software piece separate. Everybody is now looking at the recurring part of the business is so sweet and good. It might be small, but once it starts building up, as Ranjan was saying, the value will start. You'll start being value in 4 years, 5 years now, correct? And those companies' values, those bottom lines, their valuation is that how much they're already getting it, because they know this is their client and this is going to come in. So when today, our partners go and sell server, and that's the end of story. You sometimes go and sell storage, and then there's a competition, somebody coming and selling some other product. If you get that customer into a recurring business, you start adding some managed services sauce around that customer is wedded to you. He wants something else. There you go at the data center, add something more, keep getting the recurring income. These days, the companies, we signed up with Yota on an exclusive basis, on a pan-India basis. So Yota has come forward and said that, I mean, we all know Hirandani Group, how is it? But they said we would invest in the hardware. So if any other customer wants to buy 20 servers, Yota will buy it. And says that automatically turns the whole transaction into your lease transaction. So your software becomes as an OpEx, your hardware becomes as an OpEx, your continuity, business continuity is ensured, your bandwidth, your power, all those things are assured, correct? And you see that cost effectively still comes down to your cost, which you might be incurring in your own office. So we are even looking at that, promoting in a big way. I mean, I just explained one example, but we are also working with some lease rental companies to offer similar solutions as well, where hardware. One of the VDI solutions we are working, where laptops would go as an endpoint, the bandwidth would be there, and the hosted environment, you can access your laptops 24/7. Security plays a very important role there as well. Another thing which we have got into is, and this is a part of the SaaS, which is video conferencing. I mean, we all seen the valuation of all the companies or their turnovers just growing by 500%. You take Zoom, you take Teams, you take any of those companies, we touch, and everybody's investing. I heard Cisco is now launching Webex One and so on and so forth. Everybody's over-investing in that tool. So we have gone into that as well. One of the solutions you will soon hear from us, again, one of the leading ones in the world, which our partners can go and proliferate with the services they are taking to the customers. It will give them incremental revenues. So this is one area we believe. On the services side, we acquired a company, as Deepak touched last year, by the name called Uniserved.com. Uniserved is a very interesting case, and I know that a lot of distribution houses across the globe have been thinking about it, but nobody has done much. It is a company, if I have to say in simple words, urban clap of ITES, IT-enabled services. So what it does is that it's a platform which has almost 40,000 freelance engineers registered on the platform. Each engineer qualified by their skill set, OEM skill set. More than 700 OEM skill sets are available on the platform. And then roughly 22,000 partners are there, and their engineers are also listed on the platform. So every nook and corner of the country is covered. Now, you want to do a very complex project or a very simple project, the company is able to do. So I know and I shared with Deepak that one of the companies wanted to have village Wi-Fi in 5,000 villages. And it was a very humongous task for them to go and get it done and how to manage all of it. And they contracted the whole thing to us, and it would have taken good 11, 12 months for them to do that and do with certain quality and scale and have a dashboard to manage how the progress is happening. And we did it almost 40 days for them. And they had a dashboard, and we subcontracted the assignments to all the vendors. We know the engineers, we know what they're qualified. There's a call center which works on them. They have to go with which tool and so on and so forth. So a lot of our partners, who are located in 4 or 5 cities and they want to expand, and they get a multi-location contract or anything like that, and they want to use, they were looking for a neutral play. Today you go to any of the distis, they may have some vested interest, or some partner may have a vested interest if he has to serve that customer. Say ICICI Bank, a Bombay-based partner picks up an order for Calcutta. Now, he may have a good friend in Calcutta, and Ranjan may help him, or anybody may help him for that matter. But if he has an independent guy who can just do the services play for him, he'll possibly go to him. So we are wanting to help him expand that play. So all types of services we are doing, all remote management, physical services, access point survey, or anything, even digging a trench, laying down a cable, and some of the fiber companies, the big companies we all know, have hired Uniserved to do that job as well. So we are doing with SIs, big SIs, we are doing with OEMs, some large OEMs, because some of the OEMs business has gone through the roof with a lot of them have contracted, but a lot of them have gone through the roof in the COVID times. And to manage the services play there, again, they've hired. Even platforms like Amazon and Flipkart have hired us for very simple thing, just laptop services. They have advertised, you go on Amazon, you would see 800 rupees, go and have your laptop, installed, and the contract would come and somebody will go in. Or HP is hired for printer installation in few states and so on and so forth. So we are actually trying to democratize that piece of services, both for OEMs and as well as for the customers. And
right, Atul, we'll come to you a lot of things. Now we have to understand from Tarun. He has got a lot of things in place for 2021. Now let's understand from Tarun now.
I don't have many things. I wanted to first comment on Vishal that if I met him when he had already stopped selling Smart Dog, and I was telling him that you are creating IPs, so you will never die. People like us will die one day because we are dependent on third party and we do not have an IP of our own. And so what Vishal is doing, I think he will always blossom and make more money than any one of us who are into basically SI business. So Vishal, don't worry, you are on a better wicket than all of us. That's
I need this recording for sure.
अपनी बीबी को ये recording भी सुनावे.
I told him, I said, you were the originator of Smart Dog, man. You should have made millions.
So Tarun, 1 minute के लिए.
I told you that, na?
Yeah, of course. But इतनी democratic language में नहीं था. मतलब
वो मेरे को बोल नहीं सकता ना मैं यहाँ.
तो वो हमारी वाली language में था.
So Deepak, see, so this year, Hitachi, after COVID, have realized that they were a cable to cloud company, and they've realized that cable can happen in a different way, but cloud is there to stay. So there are two things which Hitachi per se is going to focus now and for another 3 years, and that's the clear mandate. First thing is that they want to get into automation, where they created their IP in services. So because they feel knock and SOC is very, very important. So both in-house as well as outside, meaning we are also building SOC for a lot of banks, a lot of public sector undertaking. And for private sector, they are using our SOC. And similarly, NOC, we built up a 50-seater NOC, whereby earlier we were catering to Hitachi company in US and Japan and few of our customers. But during COVID, the scale of business has really grown 60 times because the base was very poor, right? Not like Ranjan. Ranjan has a big base for services. And we built it from scratch. We were also in services, but they were break and fix services. Today, break and fix services is not going to be there for long because people have realized hardware don't fail. Percentage of hardware failure is not more than 2 to 3%. So what fails is basically people using the PC or the laptop or the server or storage and how to configure it and how to use it. So that all has been automated today. So when we talk to a customer today, we do not talk about hardware. We do not talk about software. We do not talk about cable. We do not talk about networking. We talk as from cable to cloud, we manage everything from a single console. So be it your networking, be it your PC, be it your server, be it your virtualized server, be it your Amazon or Azure or Google, all cloud business also can be monitored and managed through a single console. And that's the IP they've created, which has been created in India. And because I always believe and say that Indians are far, far smarter than any other species in the world and what they can do. Japan might be very, very good in doing their paperwork, but we Indians are super in creating technology and creating an IP. And that's what Vishal also did. He created an IP, which is very, very good. So per se, we are very clear that hardware, as Atul also said, that Hitachi is trying to invest big time money and sell hardware as a service, because they have also realized selling a metal box does not bring stickiness with the customer. So these are their plans for 3 years. And they are very clear not to be selling in government and public sector, because they want to do that business only if that business is security business. They don't want to sell hardware anymore in this belt, because they realize the gestation period of collecting money is very, very long. Even though what Atul was saying, we do the same thing. We have a system where we have dashboards where we can monitor and see how fast and who's the partner who's not been able to do it. But I was not aware that Savex has this facility. I will tell my teams to contact Savex and do this service with them, because this is a very good service and every SI person like us can use them. And I think it's a very good platform I was not aware of. So good, I have come to know, and I will like to promote that platform within my organization in the last 10, 12 days when I'm there. So I think industry is going to do very well, right? And people, as Ranjan also rightly said, people have to change. If they don't change, this industry is going to say goodbye to them. And so the industry, and it changes every day. So you can't say I've changed today, I won't change tomorrow. You have to change every day. So that's my message to everybody. Best of luck to everybody. This industry is zooming and it'll keep zooming.
Prarthana ji?
मैं भी विशाल के बारे में कुछ कहना चाहती हूँ. विशाल, आपने बहुत पहले बिजनेस शुरू किया था सिक्योरिटी का. उस समय हमें लगता था कि ये सिर्फ सिक्योरिटी क्यों, विशाल, is he doing like this? But now I think security is the main forte. Every government, enterprise, big company, small company, every company has the same agenda, that they have to actually do security audit. They have to find the gap. They have to implement all those security appliances, whatever. Means I think great time for Vishal again.
He was the astrologer.
The coming year would be data center year, and where the main focus would be to implement all security policies according to mighty guidelines. Yes, Vishal? I think you will have great year next year.
Wonderful.
And Ranjan was saying that software market is not there in enterprise, and we are not able to get the customers for the servers what softwares what he is developing is very true. I think trust is the major issue. एक software कुछ बनाते हैं, we actually put lots of effort in that, and next day customer के दिमाग में कुछ और आता है, कहता है इसको ऐसा नहीं ऐसे कर दो, ऐसा नहीं ऐसे कर दो. तो we keep on doing customization and we keep on getting frustrated of what we are doing. I think that is what we are facing, we are experiencing, and that is why there is a challenge. Definitely government has introduced Atmanirbhar Bharat or Make in India concept, all those things. But what I could feel as we are working with lots of government agencies and lots of application software companies nowadays, I think as he rightly said that it will take 3-4 more years to enter into software market for partners like us, because trust is a major issue. बड़ी companies हैं, उनके ऊपर trust है, but whatever we are actually developing, customer says कि नहीं यार उसका software तुमसे better है. Whether they are facing lots of challenge in SDK, API availability or integration issues, but still customer is ready to buy their softwares, but they are not exploring what we are preparing, right, Ranjan? I think this is what the challenge we all are facing. So what we have done, whatever business we are doing, see hardware definitely we are doing pretty well. IT infrastructure and services we are doing pretty well. This year we have actually 2 initiatives what we have done. We have just that contract what we have given for consultancy for this Nirbhaya Safe City project. It is 857 crore project. It's a huge project and big contribution for Government of India.
Okay, Madam, now we'll come to with the Now we'll come to the last question of the thing. We have to respond in only 1 minute, maximum 1 minute. Okay. That is how customers are prioritizing security as top business agenda. I'll start with Mr. Tarun.
Okay, so I'm the wrong guy. Vishal is number 1.
I will start with you. Because you have a lot of priority in 2021.
No, my priorities are to do different things other than IT. But yes, okay. My take on security is that after COVID, it was an eye-opener for most of the customers who said that we can compromise on security. And today, India government does not have a law where if you are hacked, you have to report. So if you see today, most of the large organizations have been hacked, but they're quiet, right? And they've paid ransom to the people who've done it. So I personally feel there is a big demand going to be there for security, and we are seeing it. Most of the BFSIs we work with, the value size of the deal is pretty high, right? And if you see any other sector, be it not much in government, but both in public sector and in BFSI and in corporate ticket size is not very large, but BFSI and public sector size is pretty large. So I think there's a good business proposition for all software companies in the coming years.
Okay, wonderful. Now I'll understand from Ashis.
Sure, thanks. I resonate what you just mentioned, because earlier it was all about compliance. You know, when you spoke to the CIO, he would always say, I'm doing it for compliance and not actually for the real security reasons. But pandemic and all the challenges and the work from home environments that we are working on has changed that mindset of our client. And today it's become the most imperative and the most important aspect for any CIO or any CISO in an organization. That's not only in the private sector or the enterprise, but government also. Especially with the Digital India campaign by the Government of India, announced by Modi ji, you know, a lot of data is getting generated. Now that data needs to be secured, you know, and it's in different formats, different places. Data centers are being built, as Atul mentioned, he's tied up with Yota, and obviously a lot of data gets generated there, a lot of data is on the cloud. I always joke that, you know, the data today is all in the air, and anybody who has intelligence, he can hack into it and access it from your wireless environments, from your data centers, from your laptops. So how do you protect all that? So that becomes another very important aspect, that how do you protect your data, which is all around the place, and ransomware and all these attacks happening. Business continuity is another very important aspect for security perspective, and with a lot of data centers being built, again, you need to ensure business continuity is on. Even if a data center falls off for whatever reasons, because there are a lot of attacks, different kind of attacks. We only talk about cyber attacks, but there are also a lot of other attacks, which is man-made and natural. So you need to ensure that business continuity is a very important aspect that needs to be taken into consideration, and protection needs to be built in for that also. Finally, I would say it's no more of a compliance requirement. It's more of an important aspect that any CIO, any organization having so much of data or data centers, they need to utilize whatever technology is available out there to safeguard their environments.
Wonderful. Mr. Ranjan?
So, it is an essential layer, not nice to have, must to have. And इसका अब हम कितना फायदा उठा रहे हैं, जितना उठाना चाहिए उतना नहीं उठा रहे. And next year, hopefully will be different. We're building the security team, and of course, looking forward to collaboration with other panelists here. Ashis, Vishal, Tarun is of course going to look after human hearts, and so दूसरे काम जो है वो तो करना ही है, but
I can always be there for you.
दिल तो वही है.
ठीक है, बहुत बढ़िया है, बहुत बढ़िया है. And Prarthana ji, how you will share your experience prioritizing security?
Because safe city जो है वो जो concept है country का, government का, उसमें हर दिल्ली पुलिस को हर चीज या पुलिस को सब चीजें सिक्योर और सेफ करनी है. उसके लिए विशाल की मुझे बहुत जरूरत है.
चलिए मैडम, we'll come to you last. And Atul, can you explain in 1 minute your vision?
Yeah, so in 1 minute, I would say it is a misnomer that cloud is secure or anything is secure. I mean, yes, everything is unsecure. Only paranoids are going to survive. So you have to be paranoid about security, about data. We all say data is king. If you can't protect your data, we have seen the born-in cloud companies, the biggest of the names, you take Dunzo, you take Big Basket, you say Whitehead Junior, whatever, hacking is always happening. So I think in a single statement, I'm saying it is a very, very good area to be into. Vishal and Ashis are leading the way there as well. And we are doing a catch up there. So I think it's a great play to be there. Thank you.
Wonderful. We'll understand from Vishal, finally.
Okay. First of all, I think, whether whatever other people will understand from this, panel discussion, I don't know, but I think it's a huge, huge compliment to me and my company. And I think I'm going to keep this for the rest of my life. At least this recording, I'll keep it for the rest of my life. Coming from Ranjan, Tarun, Prarthana, all of these people, they're, I mean, it's unimaginable. Coming down to the subject, see, again, I think if you really need to understand, what is security and, what is the breach, other things happening, everybody is breached, including, I think every single panelist on this thing. When we thought of that, one of the topmost companies in the world to give protection is FireEye. When they can get hacked, and they can get hacked like anybody's business. That, and not only them, that now they are worried about how much of their customers, are getting hacked. And that's where Tarun's, point of, informing the public that we have been hacked becomes very important. They went out and told people that we are hacked so that everybody can now take preventive actions. That is something which is there. But what is very important is that, something that will be very interesting to see. I have seen it in our customer sites. What is really happening is that it is being worked as, more like a very organized crime. There's somebody who hacks into the system and then goes out onto the dark side and sells us as an assets to be bought. And somebody else will come and exploit you and then take the ransom. So it is, I mean, it is If somebody wants to really understand what is happening in security, there was a movie which was made, Phas Gaye Obama. You know, if one guy will kidnap and then sell it to the bigger kidnapper and then sell it to the bigger kidnapper. That is exactly what is happening on the ransomware, market that is there. Second most important thing is that, when we used to talk about customers, I used to talk to customers for about 6 months, 8 months about, you need to really design zero trust architecture. And security, I think, it's majorly common sense. Instead of investing on technology first, we need to understand how much of protection do we require. And I think then start to build process and technology and people on that particular thing. Yes, and I'll just take one more minute, Deepak. I think it's a very important point. While we are investing in creating a lot of IP, I think Ranjan's point and Prarthana's point that, when we are talking about becoming Atmanirbhar, we need to become Atmanirbhar in security. Otherwise, we will end up losing everything to Americans, Chinese, or other things. Whereas Indian customer is still not ready to buy the product, which is an Indian developed product, believing that it is not something which is top of the class. We have more interest coming from outside of India than from India.
Okay, good. Vishal, you had good, wonderful input, and we have a wonderful panel. I would like to thank Mr. Ranjan Chopra, Tarun, Seth, Atul, Gaur, Vishal, Bindra, and Mrs. Prarthana Gupta and Mr. Ashis, Guha. And we have a wonderful panel in the discussion. I would like to thank you for your valuable time, and your input is going to definitely give a new revolution in the industry.
I must say, the partner community is the frontier of digital transformation, and they play a key role till the last mile and connectivity. With this, we come to the end of this session. Moving on to the most awaited session, that is recognition of the top 100 VARs in India. There are 16 different categories, including telecom services. Please join us in congratulating the eminent VARs of the year 2020 award winners.